Hello and welcome. Today's project is all about the unconscious and how you can work with that 95% of who you are to overcome anxiety. Yeah, 95% of who we are. A lot of people driving their car, they don't even know how a car works. But a lot of people can modify their engines, take care of their car, and then the car will last longer. With our bodies, we can do that. We can work with our bodies. We can take care of our mind body and it'll last longer. We can avoid catastrophes as much as we can if we align ourselves properly. And so in this video, I want to tackle the unconscious mind, what it's about, and 3 ways we can tap into it so that we can avoid all of these catastrophes, potentially live longer, and just have more of a conscious awareness in our life. Have that space instead of being in a hole, in a corner, weighed down by the past and the future. So the unconscious is 95% of who we are, but it also stores our memories, traumas, our habits are formed, values, beliefs, our fear response is unconscious. And so tapping into that unconscious, we can shift our patterns. We can think differently and operate differently in the world. Now, when an anxiety sufferer goes to recover, they start to go down this new path of recovery, this unknown path of recovery. And then all of a sudden, they're met with that resistance because the unconscious is trying to lure you back to what's familiar. That's what it's doing. It's luring you back. And that's a lot of anxiety sufferers, they go back to their old ways and then they're like, well, I can't change because I tried and then it was just too difficult. And that's because the unconscious was like, I got to go back to what's familiar. Even though suffering is what's familiar to you, that's what's familiar, right? And so let's get into the 3 ways we can tap into this unconscious mind. The first one is emotions. And affirmations are a great way to tap into the emotions. And the unconscious recognizes emotions because that's why when you're going about your day and you recognize a thought of something embarrassing from your past or something traumatic, you feel the emotions that are associated with those memories, those negative emotions, right? And so when we experience things during our day that have high emotions, we retain that information. Excuse me. And so when we're going about our recovery, tapping into those emotions in a different way can help us solidify this new identity that we're creating for ourselves. So, for example, affirmations. In my car, when I'm driving, I would put on affirmations and then I would speak the affirmations out loud in a passionate tone. I want to be confident. I am brave. I can face the challenges of the day, and I would speak these affirmations out loud with great emotion. My unconscious is recognizing I'm speaking out loud to my unconscious, essentially adjusting the way I perceive myself. And then once I would get to my destination, I would feel better. I'd feel more grounded. I'd feel like a rock. I'd feel like I'm in the present moment, that I can take on any of the challenges. And I remember an Office episode where Dwight was in the car and Jim, they were on a sales meeting and Jim got out of the car. Dwight was in the car. He cranked some heavy metal music and he was rocking out and he was going crazy in the car. And it's supposed to be like this comedic scene, but I viewed the scene as something, oh, that's true. Dwight's getting into his mind state. He's anchoring himself into that state to face the challenges of that sales meeting. And so I found that scene to be quite true right? And not comedic, but true. I would do that all the time. If I was going to face challenges that I knew were going to come, I would speak those affirmations. I would stand in front of the mirror and speak them with great emotion. Also, excuse me, replaying powerful memories in your mind. So when you think of a negative memory, you get the negative emotions that come. But you think of a positive, powerful, confident memory, you're going to feel the emotions of that memory. So keeping those memories at hand are powerful. Now, number 2 is behaviors. Your psychology, your physiology affects your psychology. Now, power poses is a great one because when you do a power pose like Superman, Superwoman in front of the mirror, your testosterone increases by like 22%. Your cortisol drops by like 20%. And then you're more likely going to confront challenges throughout the day when you engage in that posture. And so that's really powerful. Now, what we act out attaches value to that act. So what are you doing daily? What actions are you doing daily? Because like paying attention to your actions really affects your values, which lie in your unconscious mind. So if you're doing things like hanging around with negative friends, avoiding situations, your unconscious like, well, this is what Brad values. He values staying in his safe zone. He values, being comforted by food, by drugs, alcohol. He's comforted by that stuff. This is what Brad values. So when I started to eliminate and sacrifice those comforts and place myself in the unknown, what happened was my unconscious was like, oh, this is what Brad values now. Brad values these anxiety recovery podcasts. Brad values these new mentors that he's brought about into his life. Brad values going to bed early and getting enough sleep. And Brad values affirmations. Brad values confident posture. Brad values meditations. Brad values healthy foods. And so I started to change my habits and patterns. That's the thing. Change your patterns. So how do, we orient ourselves based off of our patterns, right? So change your patterns, change your values. And then your unconscious is like, oh, this is the lifestyle Brad wants. Okay, I get it. Number 3 is visualizations. The unconscious recognizes strong visualizations. As you have already seen or heard before, when we bring about a powerful memory, we feel the emotions. Just like number 1, emotions, this is the other way around, it's visualizations. So when we visualize how we want the day to go, our unconscious is like, well, this is what Brad wants. This is what Brad wants to manifest in his life. And so when we visualize how we want the day to go, we're changing the uncertainty of the day into something known in our minds. Because anxiety sufferers, they wake up in the mornings and they're like, oh my God, the day's so uncertain. I don't know what will happen. What if I get a heart attack? What if I panic? What if I have a serious disease? All of these different things. Now, when you go and visualize how you want the day to go, what happens is you're changing that uncertainty to certainty, or not certainty because nothing's certain, but you're adding order to chaos. Because remember, the proper path in life is the middle path between order and chaos, like the yin and yang symbol. The proper path is the line in between order and chaos, 1 foot in each. So when you visualize how you want the day to go, you're adding order. This is what I want my day to consist of. So it's not so uncertain anymore. Really, really powerful. And so apply these powerful strategies to your day. The unconscious is always listening. So let's work with our unconscious mind. Just like the car metaphor, we can adjust and improve the engine under the hood. The car will run better And we can avoid future problems. We can avoid deterioration of the car if we're on top of the car. If we're on top of our bodies, if we're engaging in powerful healing routines every day, then our bodies will benefit in the future because there's always that future you. There's the you later today. There's the you tomorrow morning. There's the you a week from now, a month from now, and 10 years from now. There's a you across a span of time. So we can benefit that future Brad if I meditated today and ate properly and exercised and read and did things that really strengthens my mind and my body. And that's where I'm going to leave you on today's video. Thank you for being here. Remember to subscribe, leave your comments below, and check out the podcast. It's on iTunes, it's on Spotify, it's on Google, it's anywhere you listen to podcasts, the Anxiety Project podcast. And remember, do not let anxiety define who you are. I will see you on the next video. Bye for now. Remember to hit that subscribe button and that bell so that whenever a new video of mine appears, you will be the first to know. Namaste.